tomorrow.
Yeah.
I retired 3 times and found out I didn't have enough money.
Yeah, well, I don't think we have it on.
Surprisingly.
Not in mine anymore.
My dad was just retired. I don't know what's retired now. They can do it.
Fine. Sorry for being late.
Marshall is excused, so he won't be here. So Sean and Henry. Board mayor.
Good, how are you? Happy New Year.
Oh, thank you. I caught you on Facebook. So I figured
Yeah, you'll catch me on YouTube if you haven't already. I was pressed into service last night on behalf of the planning commission to explain the special use permits for Nova.
Here?
I'm sure if there's nothing else. So, I was asked to explain why they were getting special use permits to approve. And then, why no one else, they got their applications through. Of course, I can't answer that question.
nothing that doesn't come to us.
Right. So, I did explain what the special use permits were about. But, I'm sure that they have that information to begin with.
You would know better than them, they approve it or disapprove it. Who handles the application? We don't.
Yes, I said we don't know what applications are coming, where they are in the pipeline.
Should I be here or?
We're in the dark.
Okay, so
Until they come to us.
5:30.
No one else have been approved. We haven't received any other applications at the planning commission yet.
Yeah.
So they haven't cleared through the rest of the staff in the process.
I don't have this. I don't know.
We give it to you.
Oh, you can go.
Isn't that something? Very complete. Good job. Yeah, pretty good. Pretty good. Did you get away? No?
Just enjoy it.
That's good. It's kind of what mine was all about. Just
Watch football.
Okay.
I don't get much time to rest. I kind of enjoy just doing that and watching TV.
Mm-hmm. Not having to travel someplace.
You know?
Did he not answer?
No.
had to show up so that we could conduct business.
Would be pretty good.
I think I have a similar view. Not to mention the promise to do better and show up.
You only get 3 times when you out
Get, you get to another 3 times.
I think it started this year. Or is it
He's already missed more than a quarter of the meetings, which was the other thing.
Is it a rolling 12? I thought it was just started from just the first of the year. Just 3 guys.
Interesting question. What year are we on? Is it fiscal or is it calendar for absences?
What's the question?
Is the calendar for absences based on the fiscal year or the calendar year?
I don't have the wrong ones.
I guess
That's why we're actually not in the model.
Oh, it's not?
I was looking at the time of the calendar that would form your beginning and end dates. I'm thinking that's when you appoint, that's when you.
that would be
That'll
really
be-
hard to keep track.
That will be hard to keep up with. I mean, if it's different for everyone. I would,
Color coding. I know.
I would say calendar year.
That's what I would say, calendar.
Okay, well, so we're starting fresh.
I'll talk to you about that. There's a different way that that can be done. Just let it be a roll.
Oh, it does say fiscal year. It does. And ending on fiscal year. So the fiscal year includes everything from July 1st.
You're supposed to say that very soft, so it only an I would hear that. Now you make me look idiot, 'cause I
That's
said
all right, I
it
just
wasn't
found
in
out.
the book.
I didn't see it either.
You gotta watch yourself. I'm the chairman. You don't cut my knees off. No, I got it.
Yeah.
So the fiscal year is, when is it?
Excuse me.
July, that's your 30th.
It doesn't say, it's just,
It's the fiscal year.
That's what Brown said.
A quick update for everybody, the mayor is on his way, so as soon as he shows up, we'll have a quorum, and hopefully we can get started. Thank you for your patience.
2 minutes of peace, I've had all day, I'm liking it.
You say what now?
I said it's the first few minutes of peace I've had all day, I was liking it, nobody's
Oh.
calling me.
Oh, okay. I just turned my phone on. Put it away. Used to take the batteries out of these things, now you can't. But that's a plot, it's designed so that it can track you with your phone.
Yeah.
So if you can take the battery out, kill it without killing the phone, but now you gotta kill the phone. So now you have no way to communicate, unless you gotta burn
it's true. I have one, I should use it.
it. I'd like to call the regular meeting of the Benton Harbor Planning Commission to order. Would you call the roll, please?
Commissioner Henry, Commissioner Hensel,
Present?
Commissioner Marshall, and Commissioner McGee,
Present.
City Manager Mitchell,
Here.
Mayor Muhammad,
President.
Chairman Reed.
Present?
Yeah, quorum present.
Okay. Agenda item number 3, approval of the agenda. Are there any changes, deletions? Additions?
Mr. Chair, do we need to add the report that we talked about?
That is already on the agenda under the update
Okay,
of a contingency.
okay.
I move we approve the agenda as written.
Support.
Moved by Commissioner Hensel and supported by Mayor.
Mayor Muhammad,
Yes.
Commissioner McGee,
Yes.
Commissioner Hensel,
Yes?
City Manager Mitchell,
Yes.
Chairman Reed.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Agenda item number 4, the regular meeting minutes of December the 3rd, 2019. Does everybody have an opportunity to read the minutes? Are there any corrections, additions, or deletions? Hearing none, we need a motion for approval.
I make a motion.
Support.
Motion's made by the mayor and supported by Commissioner McGee.
City Manager Mitchell,
Yes.
Commissioner McGee,
Yes.
Mayor Muhammad,
Yes.
Commissioner Hensel,
Yes?
Chairman Reed.
Yes.
Motion carries.
At this time, I would like to open the public comment session. Is there anyone that has any public comments? No comments from the public, so we'll move right along. Public comment segment is closed. We move on to agenda item number 6, new business. Training for the Planning Commission commissioners for the year 2020. City Clerk, could you give us an update?
Just as a reminder to the planning commissioner, you guys are required to receive 4 hours of training. For this year, I will be looking for some training and send you information on it when I find some that you can attend.
Thank you for that update. We move on to agenda item number 7, old business. 7A, site plan application for 1123 Territorial. Construction of a new building or expansion use of an existing building. Do we have someone who could give us additional update or information?
Yes. Go ahead. Specifics you can give that.
Okay, so we are representing the Southwest.
Please state your name.
My name is Munawar Azam. I'm working for Evan Marsh Consultants and representing the Southwest Michigan Regional Airport. And we are here to request site plan approval for the placement of 2 new hangars, the T-hangar buildings, 264 times 54 feet wide, and expansion of the 3rd existing building. In addition to, we are also requesting for approval of 2 taxiway lanes, and we are providing stormwater detention ponds for treating the new additions to the buildings, and in addition for also future expansion of 2 additional buildings and taxiway lanes. And the buildings will be 13 feet, 7 inches high from the ground, all these T-hangar buildings. And these buildings will be housed for the smaller planes.
When did you anticipate beginning construction?
I would like to start first thing in the spring.
In the spring.
Please state your name, sir.
Vincent Desjardins, I'm the airport director. How long will it take you to finish this project?
It's gonna go in a couple phases, but it should be done by late summer. What was our end date put on the contract?
It's 3 months out.
And then,
What's the date?
final completion would be October 1st, with the plan completion of September 15th. Primary completion.
What were the factors that led you to the conclusion that you needed to enlarge hangar space?
Right now, we currently have approximately 75 airplanes based at the airport. We've been at full capacity for give or take 3 years.
Full capacity?
Every hangar that we have currently is full.
Are these all private aircraft?
Yes.
Have you been approached by any commercial carriers for space?
No. Commercial carriers tend to not house aircraft except at major hubs. But a lot of the so I think there's a lot of confusion between business aircraft and private aircraft. So you have everything that flies into our airport is general aviation, what it's considered, which is technically private. However, a lot of that is charter aircraft that are coming through for different businesses and things. Like Whirlpool's operations, they are private aircraft. But they operate as general aviation, so it is open, the whole thing is open to the public. Right now, we have a waiting list of about 20 aircraft looking for hangars. So people outside of our community that are either housed at different airports or airplanes that are sitting at another airport, sitting outside, that would like to be housed inside the facility. Part of this is also a replacement of our old T hangars. We have 30 units right now that are around 70 years old, and they weren't really designed to last that long. So they're in kind of rough shape. We do what we can to keep them rehabbed because they're filled anyway. People will take them because they want some place to get their aircraft out of the sun, out of the snow, and out of the rain.
Based on what you've seen, have you seen the activity that might benefit the city through the additional?
So according to the state of Michigan, the airport brings in almost $70 million in revenue and local economic impact. I mean, that's as a whole, that's all business, that's the general aviation things. So as we increase aircraft based on the field, that'll increase. I can't nail that down to exactly what that affects for the city, but it will increase revenues for the airport, which is obviously a part of the city. It should increase that overall community benefit assessment.
Has the city staff had an opportunity to review the request?
Yes.
Meet all the necessary criteria,
Yes,
and you recommend approval?
I recommend approval.
Questioning?
I have another question. Do you guys still rent? You can go out there and rent like a Cessna or something?
Yes, there's a handful of flight instructors that operate out of the field, and there are 2 club aircraft. So if you join the club and then pay a monthly fee, you can rent the airplane. And then there is another instructor who owns his own aircraft that he uses for flight instruction and has it available for rental as well.
Okay.
Also, you should know that I'm serving on the airport board along with the economic development director after last night's vote.
Are there any additional questions? Thank you, gentlemen, for your presentation.
Thank you.
I move we approve the site plan for the
Support.
Southwest Michigan Regional Airport T hangar development.
Motion is made by Commissioner Hensel and supported by the mayor in favor of approving the site plan. Discussion. Hearing no discussion, take the roll call.
Commissioner McGee,
Yes.
City Manager Mitchell,
Yes.
Commissioner Hensel,
Yes.
Mayor Mohammed,
Yes.
Chairman Reed,
Yes,
motion carries.
site plan is approved. Okay, we'll move along to our monthly absent reports. City clerk, if you want to give us an update?
It's in your packet, as of the last meeting on December 3rd. I wasn't at that meeting, but I did hear Commissioner McGee, state that an absence from, I think it was July, wasn't, reflected as excused. I need that communicated to me once you call the chairman, Chairman Reed, I need you to communicate those excused absences to me so that the, report will accurately reflect excused absences.
I would confer with Commissioner McGee to determine what, details are, and I will get back to you with that correction. Was there any other,
There are no other, issues or questions
okay.
for me.
To update this, the bylaws state that the fiscal year will be beginning and end dates for leave computations as far as absences are concerned. Other than that, is there anything else you need to discuss while we're on this? No. Okay.
So you want it to be provided at the beginning of the fiscal year, go from that point, or do you still want it monthly?
A monthly report would be good, but I don't think that, yes, monthly report, yes. There's no more issues to report or discuss with that. We can move on to agenda item 7C. That's an update on our contingency approvals with letters sent out.
I have a quick question as it relates to the report. So I have all of the contingencies from 2016 through current, and I just wanted to kind of go through the list and see what could be removed or what needed to stay. And I'll update this report and issue it or provide it in packets every month. So we can go through each one and you can tell me the status of them, or we can figure out the status of each item.
We're gonna need your assistance, Mr. Nearpass, in going through these. Looking at the minutes from the last meeting, it was my understanding that the 720 Pipestone has already been set notice.
Which one's that?
420 Pipestone. I believe it, the last meeting we discussed that they had already received some notification from you, but no response.
Yes.
So it is our belief at this time that they're no longer in business.
They're still, I just there the other day, they still got their sign on their door. I left them another card, and I haven't heard another word, so.
So we could remove this from the,
I think I'd run it one more time.
okay. So we will leave that one on.
Could we just go like in order so I can, it's better to keep track of.
Since the-
I don't have a list of.
You don't have your list? I have an extra list here.
Okay.
I was talking to Darlene, you know, that helps me with that. We're gonna put a notice on their, you know, they're closed until they get a hold of us, and we haven't done that, so if you request my office to do that, we'll take care of it.
Mr. Chair, since we began keeping this list of contingencies that haven't been met, they've also added a shipping container to the property, adjacent to the vacant lot, between them and the vacant lot next door,
Who are we referring to?
to this property owner and that business So,
Which one are we referring to?
420 Pipestones.
Okay, we hadn't got to that one
Oh, I
yet.
thought that's what you were just talking about.
Well,
Sorry.
you can consider it then since we've already started discussing.
Do you know who's using that container?
Yeah. But I can only assume that it has something to do with the business.
I would say.
So I don't, it seems like something's going on there.
Do we have a contact number through the chair?
I have no contact information here. I would assume that
I believe Darlene and I have got a contact number.
Mr. Chair, I'm gonna let you know that we'll contact them, see if we can't get this resolved.
Okay.
Not just leave something at the door, let's call and contact.
So we'll leave that one on the list.
yes, that will stay on the list. Okay, a site plan review for Norris Ark Daycare. I'm not sure how much of this. Have you had an opportunity to review this one?
No.
Yes, sir.
Yes, Noah's Ark Daycare, is located in the township at this time.
That's what I thought.
So I spoke with some of those who were part of the development team, Mr. Murphy particularly, and based upon the stipulations and the requirements, it was not feasible for them to move forward in this location. So I think it's definitely worthy of a phone call, but that's my unofficial communication with them.
Yeah, we should call them. Yes. I'll make sure that gets done.
420 Pipestone, that's what's outstanding, if I can ask?
Almost everything.
Right, well, I do know that they were open at one time
Yes.
and were having trouble with patronage. And I think that from my last communication with them that they were temporarily closing to reopen under new management.
Did I say something?
Sure. I mean, you jumped to chairman.
Yeah, you could.
They
Sure.
don't have room there for parking, first of all. So they never should have opened to start with.
There's no sidewalks, there's no paved surfaces.
That's right.
There's no drainage. I didn't see any trash receptacles. They've done nothing but build a garage on the property.
We sent them a letter stating just what you said. But we have-
The site plan
hear
as
nothing.
they did, it does not match what they requested. Not sure what we should do moving forward, but if they're not in business, if they come before us again under new management, they would still have to meet the same requirements.
That's right.
And I would believe that whoever the new owner would be would have to make the application for it. So it needs to still be on the list until we resolve how we're gonna deal with this.
Right.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, sir.
the zoning also is conditioned upon the site plan and completion of the requirements of those contingencies. So the zoning originally for that area is multifamily. And as an accommodation for the owner, we conditioned the change in zoning on approval of the site plan and on their faithful completion. So this is a pretty serious situation that has to get sorted out.
Technically, they don't have an approval. They never met the conditions for it. So if there's gonna be a new applicant for it, or new management, they will have to go through the entire process.
And that all started before I was here.
Yes, well, I'm letting you know that this one is, they're not in compliance. So it was a conditional compliance. It's not dated here, so I'm not sure, but it's been 3 years. Haven't done anything in 3 years, I would assume that it ain't gonna happen.
I would say.
So we will leave this on the list until we resolve this. Now, Noah's Ark, if they're no longer at that location, I would assume that this
They're
can
no
be
longer
removed. They're no longer in the town.
We're removing it.
Yes. Rezoning, okay, that's, well, we just discussed the rezoning issue with the Pipestone. We can revisit this when the new owner applies. That was a special application to allow them to conduct commercial activity in the areas zoned for residential. Site plan review for Cornerstone Alliance.
So I'm sorry, so did you want to remove the rezoning application for 420 Pipestone or leave it on there? On this list?
Did they give you, I'm sorry, Commissioner Nearpass, did they, building official Nearpass, did they give you a indication of who the new ownership or the new management would be?
I have not heard a word from them. I put probably about 3 cards in their doors and left them other notes, but nothing. So.
Well,
I
new
have no
management,
idea.
new management, would that be considered a new owner?
Yes, I think so.
That would be the way I would look at it. Somebody's gonna take over for who previous.
It would seem that whoever's name is on the title is the owner. So until that changes, or if that were to change, I think we pretty much have to deal with that person officially.
That's right.
So we can't really say this is resolved until, in that way, unless we see that the property's been transferred. And in this case, I don't know what the remedies are other than getting things done that are on the list, but I suppose the city has the right to pursue it any way that they think is appropriate, but it should probably stay on the list until we get it sorted out.
Yes, we'll leave that one on the list until, the zoning application was approved, so it was only approved for the person who made the application. So if there's a new request, then that would go along with the site plan review also. So we'll leave it on until we can determine what's the status of it. If the new management would happen. Okay, any additional discussion concerning that special use permit? Okay, site plan review for Cornerstone Alliance at 69 Wall Street, provide runoff information to the zoning administration, provide landscaping plan, provide lighting plan, and applicable signage. Be an opportunity to take a look at any of this.
I have not.
Okay. What specific things that you would be looking at or able to look at between now and the next meeting? And would you require an engineer to go over the site plan to determine what had or had not been done, or is this something you would do?
It would be a good idea if I could meet with an engineer about that. But I haven't really seen it, site plan review, so
Majority of this is.
I know where it's at.
Right. Now, the lot has been paved, the streets, they're using it. The lights are there or they're not, so this is something we could perhaps get done. Yes.
Has the building administrator has he reviewed this list prior to this meeting?
I have not.
Okay.
It's
So,
been provided in packets for the past couple of months.
so I would, rather than us continue, I think that it would be in the best interest of time as well as, you know, resources to, I would recommend that the building official, in conjunction with the manager's office, review this and go out and do the necessary footwork and bring a report back to the council of what has been satisfied and what is outstanding.
There is, however, I believe, Mr. Drews is here from Avon March to speak to the site plan review for the 300 West Main Street. That's the AEP Howard substation.
Yes.
So at least, since he's taking the time to come, we could at least hear what he has to say.
Thank you. I'm Tim Drews with Avon Marsh, and the site that's in question is the AEP substation relocation from Main Street back to off of Main Street on 10th Street. This project was approved back in 2018, according to my file here, and they started construction in the fall and early winter of 2018 and actually filled the site, started construction, and then found that groundwater was about 3 feet higher than they had anticipated from their geotechnical soil borings. With that, their drainage plan didn't work. So they basically just stopped construction and walked away. I know last summer, it was in June or sometime in June or July of last summer, might have been May, former manager Watson, myself went out to the AEP's office because they called a meeting. And at that time, they were talking about coming back in October with a revised site plan, providing some berming, increasing the site of the height of the site versus excavation. We questioned that and said that is going to be a tough sell. But they were talking about coming back in October. I've heard nothing since. I reached out to Alvaro Rodriguez, who's the main contact with AEP, right at lunchtime today through an email, and I have not heard anything back yet, but I'll keep after him to see. I basically asked him for an update on where they stand with the project. That's as much as I know for now.
Same as I know too.
Mr. Chair.
Yes.
Tim, remember I asked if we did something with that property, would it alleviate some of that flooding that been experienced?
If they would excavate out what they filled and return it to the same elevations as it was before, that would definitely help the situation.
Okay. Be sure when you have that discussion with them to
Sure,
propose that.
sure, yep.
Mr. Chair.
Yes, sir.
So, I mean, they failed to follow through on their requirements according to the ordinance.
Right.
And so they're not in compliance at this point. The construction they've done is not complete. And so they're gonna have to come back through this planning commission with whatever they're hoping to do in the future. But in the meantime, I'm not sure how many people have the information about this, but if you look through 120 years worth of fire maps, you'll see that the area that's been filled is the last remaining marsh land that comprised all of downtown, and that it has never been filled until this point. So the issues that we're dealing with flooding are because we filled in the last remaining marshland that was absorbing some of that runoff from the surrounding area. And without a better drainage plan, we're going to continue to have issues not only there, but all throughout that section of downtown. So, does it make sense to add electricity to the water issue? They're concerned about plantings along the periphery, conducting electricity and shocking citizens who might come in contact with that. Can you imagine what standing water all around the substation could do to a person?
Do you anticipate meeting with them anytime soon, or have they contacted?
They have not reached out since last summer, early last summer, and at this point, I'm hoping for at least a phone call and some sort of an update, and we'll keep after them.
Mr. Mitchell, would you be able to reach out to them to find out where the status is?
What he's talking about now. He's gonna reach out to them and we'll have a status report for you back.
Okay. You're gonna direct that, race for that meeting? Yes.
As the city engineer, looking at things from the perspective of what's best for the city, would you recommend that we ask them to restore the site to its original condition if they're not going to meet the requirements that they've already agreed to?
That would be a great recommendation. It's their property. Are they allowed to do what they want to on their property? It's a little bit of a legal issue that I don't want to get into legalities, but honestly, it would be the best solution for the city at this point if they restored it to what it was prior to them starting the filling.
It's not promoting flooding, but
Well,
restoring it would.
It was a natural low area, and that entire surrounding area drained to that area for hundreds of years, forever for that matter. So them filling it, the water has nowhere else to go, and they create a
Pushes
blockade.
it down.
Yeah.
Okay, that's to remain on our list. Okay, I'm gonna make a recommendation that we accept the mayor's recommendation that we give Mr. Nearpass this entire list an opportunity to go over it. We can revisit it next meeting. Make sure that he gets a copy.
He has it in his meeting packet.
Thank you, Mr. Nearpass.
Talking about the I&M property there.
No, I'm talking about the contingent.
Okay, the agenda, okay. Yes, sir.
Make sure that, okay. If you like, I can give you a phone call to remind you. In fact, you're gonna be meeting on the 3rd of next month.
A lot of those people that, I contact them and I don't hear nothing back and I get real busy doing other things and I need to keep it in front of me so
You will be reminded.
take care of
Thank
it.
you, sir. Okay, any additional discussion concerning the contingency approvals? Thank you, Mr. Drew, for your update. If there's no other discussion, we'll move on to agenda item 7D, request for proposal, zoning ordinance and master plan revision. Director, do you have anything you want to make as a comment on that?
At this juncture, I do need to know from the planning commissioners what they intend to do as it relates to the technical assistance that's been offered by MEDC. And I can give you that reminder yet again. We can either take the technical assistance, just the financial portion, and utilize that $30,000 that they have available for us towards the project and not worry about any other assistance from them. We could also, hold on just a second, I'm sorry. They're willing to also assist with finding or providing for us not only the scope of services for the project, but also a list of their approved and recommended consultants to utilize in addition to the $30,000. Or they can just consult with us so that we have a menu of options. Either we just take the funds, we use them as kind of consultants or intermediaries with the process, or we allow them to assist us with putting together the scope of services and get their list of consultants. So I just need to know what this body would like to do so that I can help to move this process forward. At this time, there has not been an RFP put together for the full master plan and zoning revision.
It was brought up in one of the previous meetings that we are required to do a master plan every 5 years and we update as necessary in between those. Since we are approaching the 5-year mark, it was determined that it would most likely be better for us to just go ahead and do the complete master plan. There were some in public hearings that the master plan was not comprehensive enough. There weren't enough people contacted and involved in it to call it our master plan. So it would be recommended, we felt, that if we're going to do the same scope of work to review it, why not just complete it? And if we were able to get any additional outsource of monies, the city could minimize their involvement by either matching what we had, or we could on our own look for other opportunities to get enough money to do the master plan with the minimum of involvement by the city, if money was the only outstanding issue. Now, $30,000 one way or the other would be a good thing. Now, if we do it on our own, we need an RFP for someone to come in and to do it. If we're going to use a consultant, it would be my understanding that we would need to work with the consultant to do what the private party would have done. So try to keep this as short as possible. I would like to hear from the rest of you. Is this something we want to do on our own, or should we hire somebody to do the master plan? And if so, would we have a list of potential consultants that we could perhaps notify, recommend, or they recommend that we could do it? Because the last time we put out the RFP, we had no bids whatsoever. I'm not sure that it would be much different if we were to do it for the full master plan. So we need some suggestions as to how we might best take advantage of the grant.
Mr. Chair.
It's 7 cents.
It seems that it could be helpful for us to have the consultant put together the scope of work in order for us to make sure that anyone who would send us a proposal would have a clear understanding of what our expectations are. And that no one that we know of, I don't know if any of you are versed in putting a scope of work like that together, but I do know it's a complicated process that requires some technical writing and understanding that will take a bit of time. So if they're willing to give us free time to do that, along with the 30,000, and then allow us to advertise for proposals not only to their approved list, but to everyone, the general public, then we get the benefit of an RFP that would be to the point and get us what we need, as well as a better opportunity to advertise for the people who will ultimately make the work happen when we're ready to do that.
Sounds like option number 2. We seek their help to determine what it is we need, and we still would want the full 30,000.
So moved.
Support.
Motion is made by Commissioner Mitchell, supported by the mayor. Discussion.
I will reach out to MEDC and our RRC planner, and we will begin the process.
Thank you. Call the roll, please.
City Manager Mitchell,
Yes.
Commissioner McGee,
Yes.
Mayor Muhammad,
Yes.
Commissioner Hansel,
Yes?
Chairman Reed,
Yes.
Motion carries.
At this time, agenda item 8, commission comments. Comments from the commission? Anybody have something on mind they'd like to discuss? Hearing none. I need a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Support.
Call the roll, please.
Mayor Mohammed,
Yes.
Commissioner Henson,
Yes.
City Manager Mitchell,
Yes.
Commissioner McGee,
Yes.
Chairman Reed.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Adjourn.
I hope you turn the lights off or.
Well, they should have put it back in its original state.
That's what I'm saying.
Continue to flood.
I'm out out there.
It was a natural wetlands.
Well,
It wasn't, but yeah, it's very clear it was. It's indicated for over 120 years as marsh.
yeah, he can't start a project that is legal.
Well, that's true.
It's causing damage, you know.
Right.
I did mention,
Clerk,
I did
I'll
talk
put
to
this
the
in.
people at that power plant down there, but
I'll be back.
I didn't get no response or anything.
And I'll be
I just
running
put it
upstairs.
aside. So
Okay.
I was down there and walked it, it didn't look good to me.
No, and to get what they did do, they illegally were pumping water from the site into the 10th Street drain.
That's not good.
No, after they said they wouldn't use it, and that they didn't need to use it, we asked them that question during the site plan approval process. And they said, oh, no, we won't need to use that. We'll be able to use the ground to perk the water into the ground. And
There you won't.
not there.
It's already perked.
The ground, yeah, I mean, as I said, they raised the ground 4 feet and the water is still a problem.
You know, they called it the flats for a reason.
You guys are doing a good job.
I think next
Thank you.
Monday, they're gonna have people come in and they're gonna talk about the flood
Yes,
zone.
I got that.
So I'm gonna see if I can make that also
Yeah, please.
and get some maps so we'll know going forward. Any projects down there in that area, we'll know exactly where we stand. I'm thinking you might be interested in attending that meeting also. Let's see.
I'd be glad to come.
Okay, that's gonna be Tuesday, January the 14th at 4:30 to 6:30, right across the street here at the library.
You want to send me an email about that
Yeah,
or a text or something?
yeah, I'll do that for you.
Okay.
And then we can get their maps. They're gonna have maps and everything, so we'll know where the flood zone is.
I think we'll pull out the fire maps. They're